What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Cork to Glory. This is episode number 67. And we start today's episode off with the first leg of our first ever Champions League semi-final, as Zidane's Real Madrid would come to Turner's Cross to take us on in Ireland for the first leg of the Champions League semi. And heading into the game, all I could think of is, obviously the first ever season, League 2, starting off with Cork City and the type of teams we were facing and the type of team we were back then compared to where we are now, welcoming Real Madrid for the Champions League semi-final in our first year in the major European competition. This is why I love RTGs, man, because it's so cool when you get sentimental. So taking on Real Madrid, first leg being at home, obviously against PSG in the first leg back in the round of 16. We drew 1-1 and conceded that crucial away goal. So heading into this game, what I wanted was rock solid defense and a clean sheet to take back to the Bernabeu. Heading into the game, Belbo had the first chance of the match, but Courtois made a really good save to keep it at 0-0. And then 33 minutes in, so frustrating. It seems to happen so often in this year's FIFA, trying to get out with Patrick Keating after making a tackle. But as I mentioned before, stand tackles in this year's FIFA, for some reason, they're just very ineffective. We lose the ball straight away. It's rolled across, and I think it was Vinicius that gave Real Madrid the lead as they take the early advantage. So 1-0 to the visitors, and my game plan already gone. I'd lost the clean sheet, so I thought, right, now we've got to go on attack mode and go on the front foot. 5 minutes before the break, well, he scored in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley, and he scores in the first leg of the Champions League semi as well. Eamon, the real deal Cunningham, the big player, he is just so good when it matters most. He just always turns up when we need a hero out there. So Cork 1, Real Madrid 1, back on level terms, courtesy of the real deal. And then 5 minutes after the restart, I thought, right, we can try and sit and hold on to this 1-1 draw here, like we had against PSG, and then try and win it in the reverse leg. But I thought, no, let's go brave, let's go for this. So in the second half, I went at Real Madrid with everything I had, tried to get us in front for the first time in the game. First Courtois making another brilliant save, and then Leo Yates so close to giving us our first lead. Header from the corner off the crossbar as it's still 1-1. But right from the first whistle as the second half began, it was all Cork City. And 20 minutes after the restart, Sharky wins the ball back and we go on the break. Troy rolls it through to Samuel Belbel. Ricardo Pereira sleeps a little bit. Parrott gets rolled the ball through. He's got still one man to beat. Takes it round Pereira with the skill and the finish as well. And Troy, the boy, I know, I'm so sorry that I keep on saying this because I know I sound like a broken record, but how much better has this guy been since season 1, man? Do you remember in season 1? 4 goals! That's all he had all season long in his debut year for us, but since he completed that position change from striker to inside forward, he's really grown into a left winger that steps inside to shoot, and after a brilliant piece of skill to beat, I think it was Upamecano or possibly Pereira again, he bends it past Courtois to give us the game winner. And whilst Belbel might have fired a blank in one of the biggest games of his career, this is what I love about this Cork City team. When Belbel is having one of those rare games where he doesn't really turn up, he's got a supporting cast to do it for him. Cunningham and then Parrott turned the game on its head. What a victory in the first leg, baby. 2-1, and it's so fitting as well. Cork City coming from behind to claim a big victory. We've been doing that ever since the save began. Ever since League 2, we've been the team that come from behind. We're the comeback kids, baby. We're the comeback kids. 2-1, and we go to the Bernabeu knowing a clean sheet in Madrid will see us through to the Champions League final for the first season in this save. So a brief look at the scouting update and academy updates. We enter May, see our final fixtures of the season. The final 4 Premier League games away at Goodison Park, home to the champions Chelsea, and then 2 away days at Turf Moor and Anfield against Liverpool. Obviously, we've got the Champions League semi-final second leg sandwiched in between the first 2 Premier League games of the month against Everton and Chelsea as well. And as we know, we've got the FA Cup final come the end of the season as well. So with 4 games to go, as we know now, there's not really much to be decided apart from the fact that Samuel Belbel needs 6 goals in 4 games to equal Ivan Toney's record of a 40-goal Premier League season. And as you can see, had to show it to you as well, Samuel Belbel has also hit 90 overall and become the 4th player to hit 90 in the save, alongside Eamon Cunningham, Rory Keane and Barry Sharkey as well, and doesn't he deserve it? So for the first game of the month of May, as you would have seen with my lineup here, Everton away from home, of course I would pick a rotated and weakened lineup for the game at Goodison Park, knowing we had the Champions League semi-final, second leg of the Bernabeu midweek. There was no way I was going to have tired legs there for that trip to Madrid, but I of course wouldn't be able to drop Samuel Belbel. Of course Belbel had to start and captain the team as he's chasing the 40. I don't want to see him have less of a chance of getting to that record, and and Bazunu started as well, as he chases a record amount of clean sheets too. Unfortunately, when you do pick a weakened lineup and players that have minuses next to their names, you know you're going to struggle and perform probably quite poorly. That was definitely the case in this game. Of course, we drew the last Premier League game against Brighton, and in this one 2-0 down against Everton in the game. Nabil Fekir scored the first, can't remember who scored the second, and Bell only really got the one chance in the game. Unfortunately, I could only hit the post for him. That was the only chance I could create for Samuel in the entire game. 5 minutes to go, still trailing by 2. He would score a contender for goal of the season, and I rarely show replays, but I had to do it for this one. Ruse scoring, I think, his first goal of the season in the Premier League. Watch this again. This was an incredible strike there by the Frenchman. Oh, Tony Yeboah, eat your heart out. Absolutely glorious from the French winger there, but unfortunately, it did count for very little. Second Premier League defeat of the season, 2-1 away at Goodison Park, and our only away loss in the Premier League all season long as well. Hadn't lost since that game to Aston Villa back in December. Our long unbeaten run comes to an end there by Carlo Ancelotti's Toffees. But you know what? I wasn't really fussed. Whilst it meant there was no chance now we could better Man City was a 100-point record, we could equal it. I wasn't really fussed about missing out on the chance of that, because in midweek we had the Champions League semi-final second leg of the Burnabout, and of course that was going to be infinitely more important. So I had a fit, fresh and fighting and ready to go Cork City team for the second leg. And like I said in the very last episode of the Metropolitano, when you're playing away from home in European ties, whatever you do, don't be conservative. Go for goals. And whilst Bell fired a blank at Goodison Park, he's back on the score sheet at the Burnabout. Comes over to me to give me a big hug as well, as he gives us the lead. And whilst we didn't need any away goals after leading the tie 2-1, I felt Real Madrid would probably score, so I had to make sure we get ourselves an away goal to cancel out theirs, and we would right before the break. Real Madrid 0, Cork City 1, and of course, no surprise for the goal scorer, Samuel Bell. So 1-0 Cork, and in the second half, what a tackle by Ryan Devine as he kept us leading by a goal. But goal-saving challenge there from the break after Bazunu's kick-out. We almost got ourselves a 2-goal cushion. Good stop by the Belgian, it was still 1-0. With 15 minutes to go, still up by 1, looking for the second away goal that will kill the contest and Real Madrid off for good. 15 minutes on the clock. Oh, it was just poetry in motion. We've seen it all throughout the course of, well, most of the series. Eamon Cunningham to Samuel Bell. We've seen it in League One, we've seen it in the Championship, we've seen it in the Premier League, and now we see it in the Champions League as well. Eamon dinks it across to his partner, and Bell volleys in from close range. Our second away goal on the night, and that would do it. 2-0 the final score at the Burnabout, 4-1 over 2 legs. And there it is, baby. There it is. We're heading to our first ever Champions League final in our first ever Champions League season, where we'll take on another Spanish team for the third knockout round tie in a row. Barcelona made light work of Napoli, and will be taking on the Catalonian Giants in the Champions League final. Messi may be retired, but that won't make that game any easier. Barcelona in the Champions League final as we go for the treble. 1 down, 2 to go. I can't remember the last time I won a treble in a FIFA career mode. For those of you that have been around for a long time, maybe you'll know, but I can't remember the last time I did it. It must have been years ago. Absolutely years ago. I can't remember. I want to say my Watford save back in FIFA 16, but I genuinely cannot remember. We've got a good chance though. We've got a good chance. We got 1 in the Premier League, and now we're going to retain the FA Cup and the Champions League as well. Still for the following game here, Chelsea at Turner's Cross in our final game in Ireland of the season, taking on last year's champions, as what are now the current champions would have Chelsea come and take us on for a dress rehearsal of the FA Cup final. We would take the lead through Samuel Bell, goal number 36 of the season, or was it 35? Lost count now, as he makes it 1-0, but Kai Havertz, my goodness gracious me. You know, there are some players that just always score against me consistently in FIFA career mode. Bruno Fernandes, as we know, is my arch nemesis, but I tell you, man, Kai Havertz is becoming one of those names where I just can't stop. He scored an incredible first goal and then saw Chelsea take the lead there as he bent in one from close range to turn the game on its head. So Cork 1, Chelsea 2. The Blues battling back from a goal down to lead here, but a few minutes later, Troy the boy gets us back on level terms and makes it 2-2. I was not prepared to lose my final game in Ireland this season, but unfortunately this is one of those games where the AI just seem unstoppable when they go forward. Richarlison, the former Toffee and Hornet, makes it 3-2 as the Brazilian gives Chelsea their second lead of the game. 3-2, looking as though it will be our third defeat, of the season in the Premier League with 10 minutes to go. When the pressure's on, this guy just seems to come good. He thrives on pressure. The real deal, Eamon Cunningham bails us out there for the 3-3 draw, absolute 6-goal thriller. But it is worth pointing out, no wins in our last 3 Premier League games. Just 2 points picked up from a possible 9, and unfortunately, on the back of that draw, that will mean with 2 games to go against Burnley and Liverpool, both away from home, it was over. We could not match Manchester City's 100-point record. The best we could do is 98. But to be honest, I wasn't going to mind too much if we saw this guy score 40 goals in a Premier League season. So for the penultimate game of the Premier League season, Burnley away, aiming to get back to winning ways, where he scored the first and then he scored the second as well. Cunningham digs the ball to him for his second goal of the game here, 62 minutes in, as he gets goals number 36 and 37 for this season. So 3 more needed for Bell to equal Ivan Toney's 40. And unfortunately, he'd get none of the 3 he needed in the penultimate game of the season. Yes, I was trying really, really hard, but I couldn't get him his hat-trick, couldn't get him goal number 38. And whilst Burnley will grab a consolation with a few minutes to go, we held on for the win. Final score, Burnley 1, Cork City 2. So back to winning ways, and Lord knows we needed that after a really poor run of form. I haven't said that all season long in the Premier League. And so heading into the final day, Liverpool away at Anfield, nothing for either team to play for. The best we get to is 98 points, so we couldn't set a new point record, and Liverpool were locked into a Champions League place as well. But of course, all eyes are on the kid for Cameroon for the final game of the season. Could he match Ivan Toney's 40? Well, you best believe from the very first whistle, every time I went on the offensive, I was like, give the ball to Samuel Bell. I want him to get to 40. And 15 minutes in, Keating dinks one to him and Bell makes it 1. It was like Kobe Bryant's final game as a Laker. Like every single possession they gave the man with the ball. Exactly what I was doing with Bell. Scores our first, gives us the lead. No more in the first half. But in the second, he'd slide in goal number 39 just 8 minutes after the restart. Cunningham cuts the ball across the face of the goal. And I tell you, man, this was actually a really, really lucky goal. Bell had to slide at full stretch to reach the ball here. Otherwise, it would have gone out for a goal kick. And just about made connection with that left foot to put it past Alisson for goal number 39 in the season. 36 minutes to go. Chasing goal number 40. 1.5 minutes on the clock. Oh, was it ever in doubt? Was it ever in doubt, baby? How fitting. Cunningham rolls him the ball through, just beats him titty for pace. Out comes Alisson, and Samuel says, don't forget that I'm so good they named me twice. The kid from Cameroon. There it is, celebrating before the ball at the back of the net. How cool was that? And there it is, just like over Ivan Toney on the final game of the Premier League season, Samuel Bell bags a hat-trick. I think Toney actually got 4 goals on the final day to get his 40, but Bell gets the 3 he needs, the match ball, and most importantly, goal number 40. It is over. He got 3 chances in the game. He scored of all 3 of them. And there it is. Ivan Toney, welcome your younger brother from Cameroon into the exclusive 40 goal a season club in a top tier European league. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. You know, when the ball's played through there, Cunningham to Bell, I was in 2 minds. When I was going for one, I was thinking, right, do I stop and turn like I often do with a covering defender and try and bend it in, or do I go for the chip? I didn't know which one to do, and I thought, you know what, I noticed a weaker left foot, but he's got a freestyle weak foot, it's not too bad, and 98 finishing as well. I trust he can do it, and he did as well. Chips it into the back of the net. And there it is, 40 goals in 38 games. I can't remember how many games Ivan Toney played. I think Toney might have played a game fewer to get to 40, but it doesn't matter. It's a top-tier European league, and Ivan Toney now has a brother in the club. Ivan Toney and Samuel Bell, brothers in arms in the 40 club. You love to see it. And also equally as impressive this year, Eamon Cunningham. Did you see that? 35 assists in the Premier League season as well. That's the most amount of assists I've ever had in a Premier League campaign. That's more than Charles Ball got in the penultimate season of the QPR save. So don't discredit Eamon Cunningham's contribution to those 40 Premier League goals for Bell. I think he probably assisted 2/3 of Bell's 40 goals. Every Batman needs a Robin. Every hero needs a sidekick. And that is Cunningham to Samuel Bell. So there it is, baby, there it is. Team of the tournament, you see it there. Yates, Sharkey, Cunningham, Keenan, Bell. I think Parrott as well. Answers on a postcard. How did Bazunu not get into the team of the tournament? How did Edison be the starting goalkeeper in the team of the tournament? Bazunu had 26 clean sheets. What, that's not enough? Come on, man. Seriously. He was the goalkeeper of the tournament. And, of course, Bell winning back-to-back golden boots was no surprises. The player of the tournament as well. But whilst it's been an incredible finale to the Premier League season, the job is not done yet. 1 down, 2 to go. We've got 2 episodes remaining. The FA Cup final, which is coming out later against Chelsea, as we aim to retain the first ever major run we won, pick up our first domestic double at the save, and then the Champions League final against Barcelona, as we'll hopefully, fingers crossed, be going for our first treble in many, many years. That will end today's episode of Court to Glory, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you hadn't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the penultimate episode of Court to Glory very soon, where we've got the FA Cup final against Chelsea very soon.